Well, all right. It is Friday, April 12th, 11 a.m. here on the West Coast. I've never needed a weekend to come so bad before, but I really need one. I'm exhausted from the week. I had a lot to do with my day trip on Wednesday, but it has even more to do with my new setup that I'm taking at the New York Open, which for me is 6:30 in the morning, which means I have to be up at 6 a.m. every single day. And I am not a morning person, so it is rough for me. But I managed to get up and do it 3 days in a row, and 3 days in a row I have a winning trade. So far the Alpine trade is working for me, and that's what I'm calling it. I was originally referring to it as the orb trade, the ORB. It's what a lot of people refer to it as. But for me, paying homage to Alpine trader on YouTube, and he is the one where I first heard about it, and I'm just trying to emulate what he does. And so far, I'm 3-0 on my Apex accounts using the trade. So if you have any questions about the trade, you can go check out Alpine Trader, because he's the real pro at the trade, and I'm just still making sure I'm trying to learn it and figure it out and do it the right way. It looks like today my trade and his trade lined up. We were about the same entry, and we both won. So anyway, this chart here is a 1 minute chart. Or actually, no, I take it back. This chart here is a tick chart. And what I do every day is I look for tick charts where every second entry is working for my profit target. And when I find a tick chart that has worked for my profit target for every entry from the session open the previous day, I use that chart to trade with for the rest of the day until a entry either doesn't work that I didn't take, or an entry that doesn't work that I did take, and I end up with a loss. And then I will move on to other charts. And at the same time, I pick out a total of 3 or 4 charts when I start my day. And I just, my edge is when I take every single entry that occurs. And I have the best days when I do that. Today, the big news is my first trade with my system, the BS system, is this red arrow right here, which I unfortunately took on PA2. And this was after the Alpine trade. So I won the Alpine trade on a 1 minute chart, which I'll show that chart in a minute. But this is the first tick chart I was trading off of after the New York Open, and when I started my stream after 7 a.m. And this was the first setup according to the BS system, and I'm working really hard to just take the trade. Unless there's like a definite reason to not take the trade. If it's a subjective reason to not take a trade, I have to take the trade. If there's an objective reason to not take the trade, then I can consider skipping it. This trade, there was no objective reasons not to take the trade. In fact, I even actually liked the trade because it was right off of the opening price, which was this white dashed line. And I'll zoom in and show you the trade when I get to it. But I just want to mention it right off the bat, because with this losing trade, I did lose the account. I blew up PA number 2. As you can see here in this window, the account lost $983. I had less than that as drawdown. So it lost more than the amount of drawdown that I had left remaining on that account. And for anyone that's been following me on my journey, you'll know the story of this account, I think, which is I attained this account back in July of 2023. And around the same time, I built up and had a army of 5 PA accounts, 1 through 5. And you can see this one is number 2. And I traded 1, 3, 4, and 5 last year. By the end of the year, I blew up all of those accounts. I never traded PA2. I kept it as a backup in case things went bad with my other accounts. I wanted to be able to continue the PA game without having to now pass another evaluation before I can continue. So as soon as I passed as soon as I blew up those other PA accounts, I switched systems. My brother was trading on NQ and trading the system that I am now largely trading every day here on the live stream that I do at 10 a.m. Eastern every day. And it is what I described earlier. And I call that the BS system because it's, I call it the brother system because he was the one that came up with the concept, and we trade it slightly different ways. But the concept was his, and so it is the BS system. And I also like that it's BS because in a lot of ways it just really simplifies things, makes it really black and white. It's a really just mechanical entry system, and it either works or it doesn't work. And what I found over the course of 200 and, where am I at, 220 trades or whatever it is that I'm right at 80% trading the system. So what I found is when I just take the trades I'm supposed to take, and the system is take every trade because that's where the edge is. I'm not trading based on how the individual setup looks. I'm trading based on how the overall chart looks. And if every second entry is working for my profit target, I'm supposed to just take every entry unless there is a very objective reason to skip it, which is something like if you're trading directly into the opening price line from below it, that would be a skip. But this one's set up where it was above it, and no reason to not take it. I took it. It happened to be a loss. And when I started trading the BS system, I started trading off YouTube the week after Christmas Day. And that was the first time trading NQ and the first time trading the system. And I had like a 4-0 week or a 5-0 week. And it was a short week. And so then I started my YouTube back up. And since the beginning of the year on YouTube, I've been trading exclusively this system. And I've been 80% overall, like I said. So what I found is when I try to skip trades, when I try to subjectively analyze and choose, I actually do myself more harm than good. And that's actually the story of PA2. That's the real story. And that's what I want to talk about real quick. Because I'm trying to stay open to learning from this negative outcome. And for anyone that knows, trading the BS system, I never traded any other system other than that on this account. And, I got all the way up to within about $300 to $400 away from the payout a number of times during the course of the lifetime of this account. And as you can see here, I had a total of 44 trading days on this account. So I was taking it slow, trading largely 2 contracts at a time. There was even a point where when I was getting close to a payout, I brought it down to 1 contract at a time. And I think that was actually a mistake, because if I had left it at 2 contracts at a time at that point of time, I had enough wins that came after that point that I would have got to the payout. And then at some point, I even traded 3 contracts at a time. And honestly, if I traded 3 contracts from the beginning, I definitely would have got a payout. So, I think there's some learning to do. The biggest thing for me, though, is every time I got close to the payout goal, every time I would tighten up. I would start thinking about, oh man, this is the important account. Do I really want to take this trade right now? Is this the trade I should take? And inevitably, so many times, I can't even count how many times. It'd be really interesting for me to go back and look at all the times I lost on this account and see how many times did I skip a winning trade before I finally took a trade, and then the trade I finally took was the first loss on the chart. I can't tell you how many times that happened. Or the other thing that would happen is just like today. I take my first trade of the day, and just the first trade of the day happens to be a loser, right? So it's kind of the luck of the draw, the way this played out. I really don't feel bad about it. The thing is, today, you can see here, I put 7-1 today in green. And I put it in green today because today feels like a winning day. I feel like I won. And, the reality is, if you add up all these accounts, I did win despite the loss, despite, losing $983 on this account. I am up $561 for the day overall when you add up all these accounts. So that's one thing, right? The other thing is, when you look at the account, PA2, the account is blown up at $49,656. So, do the math. I really, from the starting balance, only lost $350, right? So when you think about it that way as well, it doesn't feel so bad. Yeah, I blew up the account because there's trailing drawdown rule. Okay, I'm not mad about the trailing drawdown rule. I know what the rules are. That's the rule. I have to abide by the rules if I want to play the game. Any game you play in the world of games, if you don't play by the rules, you can't not win. You get disqualified. That's the rules. And so for people that say, "Oh, I hate the trailing drawdown," or "it's not fair," and all these things, yeah, well, the company does some things, puts some rules into place so that not everyone can just win and the company loses and they go bankrupt, right? We need them to stay in business. So there are rules, and the rules are really simple. There's a trailing drawdown rule. It's really simple to understand. It's really simple to abide by. And if you are like me and get a loss and you hit your trailing threshold, then game over on that account. Move on. All right, that's the name of the game. The other rule is the 30% consistency rule. Haven't had to deal with that yet because I haven't gotten to the goal of the $2,600 profit for the account. But you need to know the rule. The rule is 30%. 30%. You cannot have one single day's profit be more than 30% of your profit when you request a payout. It's really simple. So not a big deal. Those are the two rules. And the third rule is to get to the profit target of 2,600. It's that simple, guys. I haven't been able to do it yet, though. I've been trading on Apex for a year, and I haven't been able to do it. This is my third system I'm trading, and I've been able to get close on all of my systems. But the one thing that has held me back, and this is why I say I'm staying open to learning from this negative outcome. A PA account, yet again, it's got to be my fourth or fifth PA account that I've had that was so close to a payout. I mean, 1 or 2 trades away, and I wasn't able to do it. I had a number of chances to get there, and then I end up blowing up the account. Why did I blow up the account? Because I get nervous, I get fearful. Oh no, this is the trade. I don't want to lose this trade. Is the setup good enough? Should I be taking this trade? Oh, it doesn't look good. Should I not take it? And I talk myself out of trades. Those trades win. And then finally, oh, I see one that looks good to me. I'll take that trade. And then that one is the one that loses. Meanwhile, there were plenty of trades that I could have already taken that would have won. I could have been done for the day on that account for the day. And so this is what happens, and this is what I'm learning from it is ultimately my strategy, my risk management strategy with Apex, with these accounts, multiple accounts, is I trade one account at a time, and when I take a trade, win or lose, I move on to another account. Win or lose, I move on to another account. And on a good day like today, where I can get 8 trades, I can get a trade on every single account. And on days where I'm not close to the drawdown on an account that gets a loss, I should never be able to blow up an account on any single trade on any single day. And I wasn't. This account, it took me, I believe, 4 losses. I actually got 4 losses in a row, which is, I didn't imagine that would happen. The odds of that happening, that the loss would come randomly distributed 4 times in a row on the same account in a row. I didn't think that would be likely to happen, but it happened. And being an 80% trader, that's mathematically possible, and I've proved it, right? So I blew up the account, but what I was going to say was it doesn't feel like a bad day because I improved 7 other accounts, and quite frankly, this account had limited drawdown. I had about $900 in drawdown at the beginning of today. And the balance of this account was about 50,600. Well, look at here. The balance here, if I can get it on my R Trader here, the balance on my newest PA account, which is the second day traded after today's win, is about 50,600. So look, it's like I got this new one to replace this one. And I've got the same profit as this one had, and I've got a full drawdown. Look, I've got a full drawdown, and I'm 8 days away from being able to qualify for a payout, so I need the days, and obviously I need to make 2,000 more. Well, I needed to make 2,000 more anyway, so I don't, it feels like a wash, is what I'm trying to say. And ultimately, I didn't lose. I didn't lose $900 here. I didn't lose $983. I lost the account. What did the account cost me? I looked it up. I did the math. With the evaluations and the PA fee, the lifetime PA fee, I spent $212.32. So when I lost this account today, that's all I lost. You know what? That's the cost of trading one NQ contract and getting a loss with my system. And generally speaking, I might even lose more trading one contract on a live account with my own cash money funded account. I could lose $212 in a single trade. And look, I traded for 44 days. I traded for 44 days with this account. And I had a chance to 10 times my money with a 2,000 max payout. So that's the power of using prop firms. And that's I'm still really excited about this. It's been a struggle. I haven't gotten a payout yet. I'm 2,000 deep into Apex. So I need a payout just to get almost break even. But the fees are still continuing to add up, but yet, it's not that big of a deal. I lost $212 today, and I can deal with that. And I'm still in the game, and one payout will get me my $212 back, as well as all the other fees I paid for all these other accounts, right? So it's a good day. It feels like a good day. I was really happy with the volume of trades. I was happy with my winning percentage, 7-1, 88% for the day. And I was really happy to start off the day with my newest trade, my newest strategy, the Alpine trade for the orb. And so let's take all this stuff off the screen and take a look at it. By the way, 14-5 for the week, 74%. So not the best week, not the worst week, could be better. But coming off a 4-0 week, where I only had 4 trades, look, I had doubled the trades in one day today. And so volume-wise, the market is working better in my favor in terms of getting trades. And, it wasn't the best week for my system, but it wasn't terrible either. So let's get this stuff off the screen and take a look at the trades. Try to not make this another hour-long video, even though I'm well on my way to having an hour-long video, considering I have to cover 8 trades. Here we go. All right, so I start off my day now, a new thing, trading what I refer to as the Alpine trade. For anyone that doesn't know, Alpine Trader is a trader on YouTube, and he is absolutely crushing it on prop firms. Really, just since the end of last year and now this year, he's really been just killing it with payouts. I can't even keep track with how much he's made, but I know he's made overall from prop firms. He's made at least $200,000 at this point and going over. And that's just in the short amount of time of like the last 6 or 7 months, I think. So, he's been killing it, and primarily most of his trades, most of his profits is really coming from this one trade a day. And so I was resisting for a really long time, even though I've been watching him just crush it with this trade. And he's just doing so well that I'm like, I don't want to wake up this early, but how can I not wake up this early when the trade just seems to be like a 95+%, maybe 99% trade? I mean, seriously, he's lost twice since November on the trade. So anyway, this is a 1-minute chart, and I'm trading the New York Open. And just real quickly here, let me turn on the account that I traded it on so that we can see the marks here. 1 second. All right, so we can see it was flat in the overnight early, and then just a huge steep sell-off early in the overnight, and the thing just kept dropping, right? And I'm not streaming this trade. Alpine doesn't stream it, so I'm just following his lead. I'm not streaming it either. I picked up how to trade this just by observing the things he said and talked about, but he doesn't stream the trade, and so I'm just trying to trade it and emulate what he does to the best of my ability, and that's really the story. I'm not going to try to teach the trade. One thing I'll say is this is not about teaching for me. I'm not qualified to teach. I'm just a regular person trying to figure out how to get profitable. And I'm not a profitable trader yet. So I'm just showing my experience. I'm documenting my journey, and I'm adjusting and modifying and trying things as I go, and just trying to make my trading overall better. And I realize here's a strategy that I haven't used before, but I understand it. I got an idea of how to do it, and so I'm taking the trade. So you can see I entered at 18,302 for a long, right after the market opened. My entry on the candle is the 631 candle, and I got 22 ticks on the trade. So it's a nice way to start the day, and a nice easy win compared to yesterday, where I was in this opening Alpine trade for 22 minutes, and I had to add a contract 5 times before I was able to work out of it. This is how it should work and typically usually works. And so I was in and out of it in the space of entering on this bar and being out on this bar. And it's a beautiful thing. I'm 3-0 with it so far. On my Apex account, account 36 is the only one I'm currently trading with this strategy and seeing how I do. And if I continue to be successful with it, I will start copy trading it to other accounts as well. So 3 trades in the books with it. I'm up $686 on the account in 3 days. And so that's my Alpine account for right now. Evaluation 36. It was a free account. So there's literally no skin in the game for me on that account. And there's no stop loss being used. I'll just work my way out of the trade the way Alpine Trader does it, like I did yesterday. Go back and watch my review yesterday if you want to see me talk about that. And otherwise, I'm going to carry on and show the rest of my trades with my BS system. All right, so here we go. Back to the BS system, which is on tick charts. And like I said, I pick out 3 or 4 different size tick charts and trade off of all of them. And the idea is I'm supposed to just trade as the entries come. So you can see there was the massive sell-off, right? I traded the open over here. I got the win. And then I'm not trading off stream, and I'm starting my stream around 10 a.m. Eastern. So, just preparing, looking for charts, starting my day and getting ready to start the stream. And so I started the stream right at about 7 o'clock, maybe a couple minutes early. And the first entry that I had, according to the BS system, was right here. And I took it on PA2. Now, the other thing I might consider is it seems like an awful lot where the first trade of the day, for me, I managed to get a loss. And so maybe I won't trade my best account on the first trade of the day. Maybe I'll put a little feeler out there and trade one of the accounts that's a little bit less important or a little bit less in a position of doing well, and just see if that first one is going to give me a win. Because so many times, just as luck would have it, the first trade of the day, somehow I get a loss. And so this was the first trade of the day of the BS system, but trade 2 of my day. And you can see a new high here, first entry, second entry. You can see it's not a great signal bar. I don't care about signal bars. I don't care about any, rules like how Mac would teach it, price action trading system. I'm taking the trade. This is NQ. I go for a small scalp. And when I have a chart that every second entry from the session open the previous day is working, I'm just riding that wave and hoping that it will carry me through to more wins than losses, as you see it did today. And but I know I will get a loss at least 1 or 2 times out of 10 trades. So this trade, let's see, 1 tick above is 0750. I got entered at 0750. So the entry was where it was supposed to be. And let me take a look here. All right, little interruption there. So no slippage. So that wasn't the reason I lost the trade, but I noticed sometimes I am getting a little slippage on my entries, which is fine. I'm entering with a stop market. I want to get in with the momentum. So let's see, 0750 was where I was in, and it went to 0975. So what is that? That's 9 ticks. So it went 9 ticks in my favor. I was looking for a little bit more than that. Didn't quite get there, got the loss, and that blew up the account. And actually, I moved the stop in this case because I knew that if I got stopped out where the stop is supposed to go, I mean, I might have had like, I don't know. I might have had like $100 maybe in drawdown left. So I'd rather just blow up the account and not waste my time on it any further, and concentrate on other accounts that, I wouldn't want to waste a trade on an account where it's going to blow up mid trade anyway, when I can trade these other accounts. And, that's what happened to me yesterday on account 35. I should mention this because I mentioned it in my live stream, but account 35, I had a winning trade on it yesterday. I made like $380 or something. And then at the end of the day, when I was shutting everything down, I realized that said admin in the R Trader window. And I didn't understand because it was like it was almost like a news thing, right? It was like high volatility moment. It was a breakout and it worked instantaneously. But somehow it hit my threshold, I guess. Actually, let me pull up the screenshot real quick. 1 second. Okay, this is a little bit off subject, but you can see here, account 35, yesterday at the end of the day, I took the screenshot. I was up $364.08. I had traded 4 contracts, but yet it says admin. And you can see my balance says 48,772. And the liquidate threshold said 48,277. So I think just in the volatility, there was, maybe the bids and asks went and hit it before it went on to work, and recorded the profit. I had no idea that I got liquidated during the trade. And it's bizarre because it shows it as a winning trade, not as a losing trade. But it happened really fast. And honestly, I mean, there was only like a couple $100 in drawdown on the account. And I traded 4 contracts. So it wouldn't take much for it to trigger, I guess. In any case, I'm not going to complain. I'm not going to write an email and say, hey, I want my account back. The reality is, the account is at 48,772. It would have only had like 500 or whatever it is in drawdown. And it's just not worth it to me. It's not worth my time. I'd rather it just renew and reset on the renewal, and I'll trade it when it comes back, right? I'll have the full drawdown. It'll be at starting balance again. And meanwhile, I'll put my good trades on my other accounts, so that's how I feel about that. And, I know a lot of people get bent out of shape about that, or they want their account back. They want their chance. It's fine. I'm not going to do that. I'll just wait and pay the $30 and get a fresh account when the time comes. So anyway, took the trade. I was really proud that I took the trade today. I didn't love this setup. I had reason to believe that it would retest the low still. The one thing I did like about it is that it was right off of the open price. And so a lot of times it will work enough to get a bounce. And you can see it worked a little bit. There was a little bit of a bounce. So the idea was right. It just didn't bounce far enough, fast enough for me to be able to lock in my profit. And came up just a few ticks shy. And but I was really happy I took the trade. I was happy I did it on PA2. And this again was just like a learning moment of like, even though this one lost, there are so many of these that would have won that if I had just taken them previously and took the trade the way I did here, this account likely wouldn't have gotten blown up. This account likely would have got into the payout before any of this ever happened. So that's how I need to trade the system. I need to accept the losses. Losses are going to happen. Blowups are going to happen. But I'm hoping and thinking that I'm going to get to more payouts and more past evaluations than not eventually, if I can keep this going and trade the right way. So I accept the loss. I accept the blow up. Rest in peace, PA number 2. It was nice having you around since July of last year. It was great trading with you since Christmas. And I learned a lot. I really learned a lot from trading this account. And I'm going to remember the lessons I learned. And because of the lessons I learned, I was able to move on to the next trade. So at that point, I was 1-1 for the day. The Alpine trade was a winner and my BS trade was a loser. And I didn't let it deter me, and I continued to trade the setups as they came. And so you can see here, my next entry was not too much longer at 7:18 in the morning. And again, this is a new high here. First entry, second entry long, and it made a new low of the day. So what I liked was it made a new low of the day, and it was kind of like, right at what could be a support level, right? Depending on how you draw it, you could say, okay, touch here, and it's holding. So, but I'm not trying to analyze. I'm just trying to lean into my edge. So my edge is I'm supposed to take the trade. I took it. I was proud of myself for taking the trade. I took it on PA6. Now PA6 was below starting balance, and took the trade. And I got a nice win. I got 29 ticks. It worked really well. I use an auto stop strategy. So once it goes far enough, my auto stop kicks in and moves up, and then it trails price pretty closely, tightly, until it gets hit and taken out. So at minimum, I get like 10, 11 ticks typically. Or if the auto stop moves with the price well enough, I can get situations like this where I make 29 ticks. So that was trade 3. I was 2-1 at that point. Then staying on the same chart, I had a first entry and a second entry, basically engulfing. Were they matching highs, or was this higher? Higher by a tick. So an engulfing entry. Again, no analysis, just the chart has worked the entire session for every entry for my profit target. I took this on PA7. Now PA7 is my worst standing PA at this point. And again, another one with very little drawdown. You can see after the win, I've got 276 plus 150. So 325, like about 425 in drawdown. So I'm only trading one contract on that. So it hopefully won't blow up mid trade. If there's any kind of pullback. This one just worked right away, just went straight through with the momentum, and I captured 11 ticks. Too bad I wasn't able to capture more on that one, but that's the way it worked out. So I made $51 on PA number 7, and then that trade before, PA6, the one that got 29 ticks, I made $342 on that trade. So moving on. Trade number 5 on the same chart again. Again, first entry short, second entry short. And I like the trade. Plenty of room to the EMA. I feel much better about taking a trade like this with plenty of room to the EMA after it breaks through to the EMA, as opposed to a loss that I've had quite a few times recently where it's upsloping. It broke through really strong, and then the trade is like directly into the EMA where there's no room. So I think I'm going to use the EMA as like, okay, if I'm trading directly into the EMA with no room, that's a pretty good objective reason to skip a trade. But in this case, plenty of room, even though there's a lot of momentum up. And this was a great trade. Trade 5 on PA8. Only the second day traded on it. This is an account I just got recently, and made $392 on the trade. I only traded with 2 contracts, but I got 41 ticks. And if you go back and watch the live stream, the way this moved, it was there was a momentum to the downside, but it did it really steadily. And so my auto stop was able to move and move and move and move and move like really slowly, and you could like see it happen. It was really cool. And that was the best profit I've had on any single trade using this auto stop strategy on the BS system. 41 ticks. So that was really cool. 10.25 points. Is that right? 44.50 the entry to 34.25. So yeah, 10.25 points on that trade. That was my best profitable trade on my scalping to date. Really happy about that. And so, like I said, PA8 has now essentially just replaced PA2 with the same balance that I left off on before the last loss on PA2, and it has a full drawdown. So in the same exact position I left off with my PA account. And not to mention, PA6, I'm getting close to having a full drawdown on that as well. And, I only need to make 1,600 in this account. So, quite frankly, I'm closer on PA6 now than I am. I need to make, what is it? I can't think, I'm tired, but I need to make 1,500 on this account to qualify for a payout. Whereas on this account, I need to make 2,000. So I'm actually closer on PA6, even though I've been struggling with it. I've traded for 25 days on that account. But those are neck and neck. It's entirely possible and reasonable to think that I can pass and qualify for a payout on both of those accounts around the same time. So that's always really nice to keep in mind. So then the next trade was on a different chart here. Again, my last trade was at 8:25 in the morning. And so then I moved to another size tick chart. And this trade I got into at, looks like 9 in the morning. And this, again, first entry, second entry long, right off the EMA. And I traded this on evaluation 29, which was in good shape. Traded it for 10 days before today. So today is the 11th day traded on it. And at this point at 9 o'clock, I believe I adjusted my ATM to only go for 11 ticks. And it's a good thing I did that because it got 11 ticks and just slightly more. I don't think I could have got more than 11 ticks, and I might have lost the trade if I was going for more than 11 ticks. So I think actually I found this chart because I was only looking for charts at this time that every entry was good for 11 ticks, and this one was good for 11 ticks and just good enough, right? So 11 ticks on evaluation 29. I traded 4 contracts on that, and so I made $199 there. The last trade, I don't know if I said, but the last trade where I made 41 ticks, made $392. And then, so that was trade 6. At that point, I was 5-1 for the day. Then on the same chart, again, right at the current day's low, another second entry long. This was a new high right here. So counting from there, first entry, second entry long, not the best signal bar. Closed lower than where it opened, but kind of a pin bar, and took it on evaluation 34, which is the 25K account. My last 25K evaluation I'll do. Only the second day I've traded on it, and I traded max contracts on it. And I said, I'm willing to win or blow up this evaluation, since 25Ks I'm not going to do anymore. So this is going to be a win or pass every time I take a trade on a win or fail every time I take a trade on it. And I was able to make $164 on 9 ticks in this case. Got a little bit of slippage on the entry by 2 ticks, and that's why I got 9 ticks instead of 11 there. And then switching back to the previous chart. So let's see. I was 6-1 at this point of the day. And then switching back to the previous chart, I got one last trade in. Had to wait a little bit later in the day to get it. The entry was at 10:01 in the morning. I'm usually wrapped up for the day by then. But because my last trade was, let's see, what time was my second to last trade? It was at 9:35. So I was thinking about ending it, and decided to stick around. I said I was going to give it till 10, and I got in right after 10. And this trade worked for the 11 ticks on evaluation 33. And 33, I've traded for 8 days now. I believe I changed this. I'll have to double check and make sure it's 8 days. If it's not 8 days, it's 9 days. But again, I'm at 51,660. So 1,000 more to go on both of these accounts to pass. Or no, that's not right. Nope, I take it back. 1,400 to go. You gotta get 3,000 to pass. 1,400 to go there. And this one, 1,150, 60 to go to pass that one. So yeah, I got the 11 ticks. I was happy I stuck around for it. Managed to trade every single account that is active now today. And that's the power of the BS system when I'm just relying on how I'm supposed to use my edge and take every entry. And it affords me on days like today where the market is moving, and there's a lot of volume, affords me the ability to get a good volume of trades and get a trade for every single account. And while I did lose the one PA, I improved all these other accounts, and it just feels like a winning day. I'm really happy with the day. So let me put all the stuff back up on the screen here. And so really, there's just a lot to take away. I feel like I'm growing as a trader. I'm trying some new things. I'm just being open to the possibilities of what can come my way, and I'm trying to get. I'm a little too rigid at times in my trading. I love the BS system for how mechanical it is, in terms of being a black and white system where if there's a second entry, I'm just supposed to take it, and there's very few reasons to ever not take a trade, objectively speaking. My rules are I won't trade directly into a previous day close, a previous day high, a high of the day, a low of the day, a previous day low, things like that. But I will trade off of them. So like the loss I got today, I was trading off of the open price line. Like I'll trade off of the open price above it. But if this bar closed below the open price and the entry was going right into the white dash line, open price line, then I would skip the trade. I would objectively skip the trade, because that could be what was support, could be resistance, and cause me a losing trade. So that's the only time I'm really supposed to skip a trade. And I'm adding a rule for if there's just no room into the EMA. When the EMA is going in a direction and it looks like a trend, I'll stay out of those trades as well. Those will be the only times I can skip a trade using my system. And if I had done that, this PA account would not have been in the position to get blown up today. It likely would have already received a payout from the last payout window. And so that's a lesson learned. And it's just the way it goes, but it's the truth, and it's just a reality that I have to remember and try to honestly try to never forget, so that I don't put myself in a position like this again, where I have an account that could and should have been a paid out account, and then because I'm skipping trades subjectively, no reason to not take the trades, and those trades end up winning. And then by the time I finally take the trade, I got a loss, and then those piled up and I blew up the account. And it reminds me of when I was trading on ES with Max Pat system. And I was like, you have all these rules, all these subjective rules, you're drawing trend channels, and you're waiting for a good signal bar, and you're waiting for it not to be an inside bar, and you're waiting for it to be at the trend line or a break, and expecting a retest and hoping that you drew everything correctly and all these things. And so you skip all these trades, right? That, it doesn't fit this rule, it doesn't fit that rule, and they all work. They work. And then finally, this one looks perfect. It's a great signal bar. I believe it broke the trend line, and now I'm expecting a retest of the high, except maybe I didn't draw it correctly, but I don't know. I'm going to take the trade, and boom, you have a loss. And then in that system, I was only getting like 3 trades a week. So even if I had a 3-0 week last week, one loss the next week, and it wipes out all the profit that I had. And then I'm not getting enough trades to trade multiple accounts like this. So I'm just in such a better place. And then adding the Alpine orb, 3-0 on that looks very promising. I'm going to try my best to not jump the gun too quickly and copy trade to multiple accounts. But my urge, my instinct is I want to do that, because I know I've seen him use it really well. My entries have been similar to his. I think 2 of the 3 days I've traded it. And is that correct? No, actually, today was the only time my entry was similar to Alpine's. We got on the long, both right around the same spot here on this candle, and both exited on this candle. So I feel like I'm trading it properly. The way I understand to trade it seems to be correct. It's working. It's 3-0. I had to work out of it yesterday. That's fine. But just having that one additional setup that I can trade, that's 5 trades a week that I can count on. Last week, I only had 4 trades for the whole week. I was 4-0. Now trading the Alpine trade, that gives me potentially a 5-0 week right away. And if I have only a 4-0 week from my BS system, I'm 9-0 for the week, and I can live with that. So already improving my odds there, and this seems to be a really high winning trade, 90 plus percent, maybe 95 plus percent, maybe 99%. It loses sometimes, but man, it's a good trade. I like it. So, all right, I'm going to wrap it up. 7-1 for today, 88%, 14-5 for the week, 74%. Not bad, not great. 177 wins and 45 losses. I'm still right at 80%. It's where I've largely been the whole year as I've tracked the system. Sometimes slightly above, sometimes slightly below, but overall, I keep landing there. Use my code if you are looking to pick up some evaluation accounts. Gets you 80% off any size evaluation. The one-day pass is going on along with the 80% discount until April 30th. And if you don't use my code, use someone's code. Make sure you get the 80% off. Don't pay full price. That's just silly. Don't do it. Check out my live stream every day between 10 a.m. and 12:30 Eastern Standard Time. And I really appreciate all the likes and subscribes. I'd love for more people to come into the chat during the live stream. It's been a little bit more lively lately. Every day, it seems like more and more people. There's still only a few, but if you feel inclined, come by, say hi, ask questions, tell me what you're up to. Streams getting more fun that way. And appreciate the likes and subscribes. The channel is growing, and that's awesome. So yeah, just documenting my journey here, not trying to teach anything, not trying to tell anybody how to trade or say my way is the way. I'm still figuring things out. I'm looking for what's going to work for me, taking little things from different people that I see and trying to make them my own and work for me the way I think and feel, and the way it works best for me and my personality. And join me on the journey. Let's see where I go. And I'd love to hear about your journey as well and see how things are going for you. So I'm just going to continue to try to stay open and learn from negative outcomes, learn from my losses, learn from negative outcomes, and try to turn the negative outcomes into positive ones. And the positive one for me, I leaned into my edge. I took every entry, and I was able to make 7 accounts have profitable day, and only 1 negative account, which doesn't even exist anymore. I lost $212, and I won't have to look at that moving forward. I don't have to rebuild the account. I just will continue on with the active accounts I have. All right, I believe I have said it all. It's a long video. I appreciate you guys checking out my videos. Anyone that's only checking out the review, check out the live stream. Anyone that's only checking out the live stream, check out the reviews. And yeah, if you're getting anything out of this that's interesting for you, yeah, I appreciate it if you spread the word. All right, I'm out of here. Hope you had a good trading week and have a good weekend. And man, I'm really looking forward to the weekend. Maybe I'll be able to find a little time to continue to test the Alpine trade. I tested it on playback on Tuesday night, 26 days, starting on the last contract of 2023, the 1223 contract. I did the first 26 days on that contract and won every single day. And now, as you've seen, the last 3 days here on the live market, three winning trades in a row on the Alpine trade. So, all right, I've said it all, and I'm out of here. Have a good weekend. Appreciate it.